Well, ahoy, crypto pirates. Welcome to your Discord Syndicate's FN Hangout. I'm the captain, your captain, RG3. We're having technical face difficulties today. I'm having technical difficulties, guys. Sorry, but this is your show. This is for you to come in. You don't need to be seeing me, right? See you guys. All right, let's say hello to the chat room. How's everybody doing? Fast Abdul, what's happening with you? Crispy, good to have you. Good to have you. Ex Amigo, what's up, DeFi? Eagle Out, DJ Pollywood in the house. What's up, brother? Hector the Protector. Haven't seen you in a while. Maybe I just haven't seen the name. What's up, Dorsey? Welcome to the show, team. Melv Tony, always good to have you. Thank you for the service, all of you. Melv Tony, Dorsey, DJ Pollywood, all you guys. Thanks for your input and your service to the community. This community that has reached all-time lows. Oh, crypto Twitter is so funny. So funny today. Even the captain got a meme out. Kidding me? I got a meme out? Really? Wow. Well, what a week it's been. I have been under the weather. Had you guys probably saw it the last couple of shows. I was looking pretty down. But I'm over that and back in the saddle. All right, guys, this is your show. Come on in. Let's hear it. I'm really just looking at the numbers and going, we're in that first fake out. Crypto does this all the time right before big pumps. I don't know if we're going to have to wait until after the halvening or what. We're having a little course correction here. I'm hearing a lot of news about it going down. OTC trades seem to have slowed down a little bit. I think the Ethereum that I've been seeing moving is a lot to do with the miners, just because of the sheer numbers and how there was always 30 million coming through. But I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. But there was that strange number that every time I saw big Ethereum, it was $30 million range. Kind of odd to me. But anyway, what do we got here? We are 0.003 on the EHEX side and 0.018 on the PHEX side. Still looking good. Still doing Hex, still doing what Hex do. Yes. What do we got going on in the chat room? Anything going on in the chat room? You guys got anything to say tonight? Anybody coming in? Who's coming in? It's kind of weird talking without the visuals. Just my little face there pumping sound. It's kind of odd. I've never streamed like this before. It's kind of throwing me off, but that's okay. We're going to do it. It is what it is. All right. Like I said, everybody, this is your show. This is where you come in and you get to bring conversation to the table. I am at a loss of for words this week. I really am. I don't have anything. I've just been watching the meme coin fuckery going on. Watching the markets get stale and stable for the moment after they had their little rise. Of course, the RH ecosystem just doing its thing, chugging along, little train that could, not doing anything outlandish, not doing anything spectacular, just chugging along, continuing to work versus other chains, continuing to get just as much FUD as other chains. Of course, we all saw the news earlier this week about Ethereum getting hammered by the SEC again, or they're there are talks of them not getting their ETF or the ETF getting shelved. And that just sounds to me more like just normal FUD, just the stuff that comes out before big pumps, before rises, shake out, last little bit of weekends, and see if they can scoop up some more cheap token of what they're trying to end up pumping. Yep, that's what it looks like. How's it going, Billy Boy Crypto? Hey, what's up, Frosty? How you doing, man? What time of the surf season is it over there right now? Is it springtime? What kind of surf you guys got down there? Yeah, it's getting ready to start popping off here. Well, it's been popping off all winter. I haven't had a chance to get in much, but you guys have always got the good stuff. Yep, I'm sure it is. Sure, it's good. All right. So if you don't know, this is your show, and you get to come on in here and chat with me, or you get to hear me diddle around and then shut it down. So I'm going to get hit by my producer. I was trying to avoid this for right now, but now I've got to bore you guys with what we're doing. And it's not boring. It's just that I like talking about, stuff that's going on in the community, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, overhead today, he said. But okay, I'm going to. But we have an event coming up in Utah for the PulseChain Tour event. And you're absolutely right, producer. Do you want to come up here and chat with me about this? You're most welcome to do so. There you are, the positivity princess herself and the producer of the show. A wild SJ appears.
Hello. I figured since they can't see you, maybe they want to see me. Maybe. And since you don't want to talk about it, maybe I'll just talk about it instead.
Well, we can both talk about it. On the 13th of next month of April, we will be in Utah, and we're going to be in the Lehigh area. So that's a little bit, I think, southeast or east of. I think it's east of Salt Lake City, just a little bit.
Just like southeast.
Yeah, it's like southeast, just a little ways. Little 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive, something like that. But basically, we will all be in the Utah area, throwing down with the likes of Donovan Jolly and the Tank Talk Wireless guys themselves, Drac and Brad. And it's going to be one heck of a show. We're going to also have the Women in Crypto panel with the Wild SJ and Black Hexican. Fashion Coder will also be there. So she's been very active lately. So all of those ladies will be doing a woman's symposium, I suppose you would call it, right? And then we're going to do the regular thing. We are going to do the Captain RG3 version of what is DeFi, what is Pulse, what is PulseX, and what is Hex. Like to get in there and mix it up and talk to everybody about what it is that we are really trying to do here, and that is get the word out about DeFi. So if you're in the Utah area, or if you're not and you're just close, go on down, come hang out with us. Tickets are on sale at pulsechaintour.com. And those just basically take care of the event. There is no big bucks in all this, just to let you all know. For those of you haters out there who love to say that people are bilking the community, I'd like to just let you know that this event pays for itself. We get a VIP event going. We get a nice dinner. We have a nice time to hang out and some drink, socializing mixers and stuff. And everybody has a good time. Everybody gets a lot of value. And you get to mix it up with, Hexicans face to face. Really cool stuff to be able to do that in person. Our meetups are the best. Nobody else has meetups like Hexicans have meetups. We know how to do it right. And the conversations are about real DeFi. about what's really going on. And so you want to get there. So go to PulseChainTour.com and get your tickets to come hang out with us in Utah. And if you can't make it to Utah and you're in the Canadian atmosphere up there way high in the land of the cold, what's that? So that's in May. We're going to be up in Vancouver, Canada. So there's also tickets for that. So if you're Canadian, get on up there, come hang out with us in Vancouver. And then, of course, after that, it's going to be getting really cool when we get to Europe. We're going to be heading to Europe, and we're planning all those days. What's going to happen there? It looks like maybe some Portugal. We're going to do some Italy. We're going to do some, I think, Amsterdam, and what is it? Germany. We got Germany? Yeah, we got Germany. And then on to London. London's going to be a lot of fun. It seems like we get a lot of draw when we go to London. A lot of people come to the London events.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm
what
very
else?
excited. Canada. Never been to Canada.
Oh no, you've never been?
No, I've never been. Never been to Canada.
It's like the U.S. but clean and cold.
Okay. I might like it though. I might enjoy that.
It's clean and cold. Well, I spent a lot of time in Toronto area. Toronto is really nice, really clean, really cold. There's only a couple of times a year that I really like actually being there. Let's see. We got a question down here. Let me pull this up here and have a chat about this. What are your thoughts from DeFi? Thanks, DeFi, for the question. What are your thoughts on what RH did on eHex? Good, bad, ugly, smart, not so smart, genius. Also, your thoughts on the case coming up, chances now for dismissal. Also, keep rocking on. Well, thanks, DeFi. And yeah, I guess I have nothing to say and a lot to say about this stuff. So what RH did on eHex is what RH did on eHex. Now, I'm not so concerned about what RH did on eHex as what Hexicans did on eHex or holders of the token did on eHex. Richard simply made a statement that changed nothing. He changed nothing. He did nothing. He made no moves. The OA didn't do anything. Big whale wallets didn't do anything. A bunch of little mixed up plebs sold their eHex on that tweet. For some reason, they made an assumption. In my opinion, it was people who had bought into Hex hoping for it to be there to be a pump. And when Richard said that, they dumped it and said, I'm going to move on over here because here's what I saw. And it's on chain. Go look at it. Nobody went over to PHEX. They didn't dump and go to PHEX. They dumped and went elsewhere and bought meme coins or ETH or whatever, but it didn't go back into the ecosystem. So that's my opinion on that. Richard did nothing. It was weak-handed community members or weak-handed people that were waiting for a pump and wanted to get in and out quick. So, and it already came back a little bit and it's still not where it was, but hey, once value leaves, it just moves around and starts going elsewhere. So that's my opinion on that part of the question. Also, my thoughts on the case. My thoughts on the case are based on my experience with the SEC, myself, and the cases that they've brought up against me, the 4 subpoenas that they sent me, and how they reacted and how they have continued to move forward with anything that they had anything to do with me. So I don't think that they have. Well, obviously they didn't have any case with us, so they moved on. They didn't have any case with any of the 3 entities that I run, own, and operate. Those are still running, being owned by and rated by me and my teams. One of them being the Hex Investment Trust that has Hex in it, operates under the auspices of the SEC. So my opinion on that is that they walked away from all of those things thinking that there's nothing there. So, and that was 2 years ago. well over a year and a half at least. So to say that they've got a case now, I don't see it with what the complaint is, what I'm seeing as far as watching the docket and watching it move and watching what's going on the updates in the court case. It looks like it's stalled. In my opinion, all the receipts are there to disprove the allegations. So I don't have any worries about in my mind about it. However, the market may seem to still think, and because the narrative, and not within this community, of course, but the narrative within the external crypto community is probably, yeah, Richard Hart is being, hit up by the SEC for fraud and for, misappropriation of funds. So it sounds all very, very bad, especially the way they say it and the way they get to use it, and especially the detractors, the people that don't like Richard, the Bitcoiners that are still trying to shill bags so that they can dump on their people's heads, because they do have a bunch of people still following them on that bullshit ass technology called Bitcoin. So they will continue to try and bilk them and lead them astray and keep them away from DeFi and keep them away from people like Richard, because Richard changes people's minds. When people start to understand liquidity and start to understand real DeFi and start to understand yield and start to understand the tools that can be used on DeFi and how low fees and faster transaction speeds and scaled networks make DeFi possible and Web3 possible. They don't like people talking like that. They want people to still remain into their little Bitcoin thing. And now they've kind of failed at that. So the big money houses have come in to save them, and they've all been selling their Bitcoin. They've been dumping it on their own people's heads, dumping it. It's been sold off to the BlackRocks, to the Fidelities, to all the big money houses that they were supposedly fighting against. They gave in. They gave in, dropped to their knees, and laid their Bitcoin before their feet. And now they have control of it. The exact people that they were fighting against, the exact people that they were talking shit about, they had a better way. Bitcoin's a better way. No, it's a better way for them to make money off of you is all. That's what they've done. So yeah, that's my opinion on the case and what's going on, and how they're using this against Richard. It's really a big nothing burger. I wish they would just go ahead and take it to court so he can finish them off and we can move on. But I guess we'll have to hold on to it for a little while. But thanks, DeFi. I appreciate the question. That's my opinion on it. Let's see. Let's read Meltoni. Meltoni doesn't throw big questions out there often. So RH only told the truth. Correctamundo. Yes, he did. As we all have been. My narrative from the beginning, PulseChain, and you can go look at all the records. PulseChain was invented to make Hex better. And guess what? Richard validated that and verified that the other day and said Hex is better on PulseChain. RG3 was right. Oh, the old guy was right. The guy doesn't know shit was right. You stupid motherfucker. Don't listen sometimes. Don't listen. I'm going to take a page out of my good buddy Wales's book. You motherfuckers just don't know. You motherfuckers don't listen. RG3 told you a long time ago, before PulseChain came out, that PulseChain was made to make Hex better. Period. End of story. If you want to go build cool shit on it, good. You go do it. Go do it. That means people have permission to go build. Permission from Richard to go build on his chain. And you motherfuckers didn't let people do that. You motherfuckers went out there and bitched and whined and complained about everybody building shit on Richard's fucking platform when he told them all to do it. So fuck you, you guys didn't know again. You dummies. out there making the community look stupid while people are out there trying to build communities, trying to bring attention to this network in whatever way they want. You guys want to go fight with each other. I don't like the way they doing things. They're mean. I don't like the way they do things. They do too many videos. They make too many memes. They're fucking shut up and go do your thing, or just go piss yourself in a corner and cry. We're done with it. Let me finish Tony's question before I get into any deeper. For now, eHex is not the move between the two to invest, in my opinion. That's Tony's opinion. I always like cheap hex for my investment, but that's me. I've got plenty of hex on both chains, so much that I don't know what to do with it. So I like cheap hex, really cheap hex on either chain, in my opinion, because I'm not going to be cashing any of that stuff out for a very, very long time. And it might not even be me. It might be my great freaking grand threes that are out there doing the unstaking and removal of such, cheap bags. So anyway, that's my opinion on hex. I like it cheap when I buy it. I like it expensive when I sell it. And guess what? Hex at 0.003 is still expensive according to my old buys. So anyway, P-Hex is the better choice for now. I agree. P-Hex is a good choice. Why? Because you can use it. You can't use the E-Hex stuff. You just kind of hold on for a long, long time, hoping that it goes up. If Ethereum pulls its head out of its ass, it might. I think RH said what he did only because of the ETH fees. I think, in my opinion, the way Richard said it, the frustration that was coming out of his tweet when he said it, and it's hard to read somebody's frustration when they're tweeting or their mood or attitudes. That's the first mistake, is trying to read that. But it sounded like maybe Richard had been getting complaints about people bleeding out and losing their stakes because they couldn't afford the gas fees to unstake them. And he got frustrated and just said, go use P-Hex then. God damn it. That's what it sounded like to me. Anyway, that was kind of what he said. My opinion. But yes, agree with you, Mel Tony. Let's see. I already stated the obvious. However, I'll put PulseChain out here. However, he had to dispel the fog, not the FUD, E-Hex, but reinforce P-Hex. Big difference. Okay. I like that. Yes, this is a good one. But Finesse, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? Out there doing the long haul, hanging out and making it happen. Appreciate you. I remember when Vitalik tweeted about his hopes of Ethereum primarily being used for gambling on sports and political events. Vitalik once believed the fee shouldn't be over a nickel. Weird turn. Yeah, I remember him bitching about fees, Bitcoin fees costing a nickel. And he was like, that's appalling. Crypto shouldn't cost that much, a nickel to transact. Oh, the tangle web we weave, right? No, it's funny when you look at that. Bitcoin was supposed to be a gambling. It has actually like a card game or something like that built into it. There's some kind of, or gambling something. There's some kind of gambling thing built into Bitcoin that they don't even use, or some kind of function could be added to it or something like that. It's in a white paper. But yeah, Ethereum, in my opinion, will eventually fix itself, and the fees will come down, and they'll figure out a way to do that. Until then, we have to deal with it. So all you E-Hex, don't sell it. Hold on to it. Only people that make money off it are people who are going to hold on to it. That's right. One of the people that make money, right? Richard said, those who hold and those who found. So either found or hold. What? Did Richard tell people that to found? Again? Build on my chain and found if you want to make money? Wow. Oh, some of you are so far falling away from the tree. Some of you little apples are laying over there rotting in the sun, have fallen far from the tree. Look back at the things Richard has said. Richard's not a dummy. He's an entrepreneur and he wants you to be rich also. So either if you're not smart enough to go build your own shit, sit down, shut up, and hold.
Yeah, I think people forget Richard has our best interests at heart. He really does. You know, especially after all this drama this week. Like, it can be easy to just let one tweet or one, you know, like dumpster fire make you forget, you know, the long journey. And that seems like I didn't really understand this at first when I got into this whole community, but the whole like 2 weeks, everyone forgets everything. In 2 weeks, y'all are not going to remember any of this shit. Like, no one's going to even know.
There's no attention span whatsoever.
Not at all. It's
in fact, everybody was reeling about some weird stuff today. Some very weird stuff. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. No one recognizes it was reinforcement of PHEX, not FUD on EHEX. The captain does. The captain did when he first said it. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Richard's reinforcing the PHEX value. Oh, shit. They're selling like they're what? Oh, my God. That's not what he said, guys. Anyway, that was that. Hey, Tam, what's up? I swapped all my EHEX into PHEX. Good for you, Frosty Dog. That was a move that a lot of people should have made. Went in and moved. And yeah, but a lot of them didn't. Most of them didn't. Hey, what's up, Zenith? How's it going? Ahoy. The winds, fair, and the magazines report cool and dry. The crew stands by for the orders to sail. Yes, we're going to sit in the dock for a little while longer. But yes, the winds are picking up and there is a horizon out there for us to reach. So we are going to be sailing soon, crew, soon. Let's see. Sandy Beach. Oh, my lady, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, Swizzle Sticks, what's up? Eagle Owl. Let's see. Let's see. And he compared EHEX to Bcash and ETH Classic. Okay. Let's see. Frosty, wrench me now. Oh, did you? Never mind. Let's see. Last 36 hours. It's been a while. Last 36 hours. I haven't slept. Delirious. Yeah, it's Swizzle Sticks. It's been crazy the last 24 hours. Let's see this. PulseChain. What if RH never tweeted about it and people got mad at him in the future for not foreseeing it? It was best said when they said Richard reinforced it. When you said Richard reinforced it, guys, because that's all he did. He said this 100 times. We've said this 100 times. Hex is better on PulseChain. If you want to use it, if you want to stake, if you want, Now, degens like to buy things low and sell things high. That's part of the crypto space. I've made money doing so. Buying things low and selling things high, and brought money back into the ecosystem doing so. Some of these other projects that I will not talk about, I won't tell anybody about. I have gone and extracted value and brought it over here to PulseChain, brought it to Hex, put Hex in my bags. But that's because I've been around since 2014, degenning and watching things happen in the background and watching liquidity now that I know it so well. Now that I understand what's going on out there, now that I see what rug pulls and bots and launches look like. It's not rocket science, but it's very, very dangerous. And you better have a very, very small degen bag if you do so. Just like when you go to Vegas, don't take the fucking rent money because it's a big gamble. So anyway. What else do we got here? Let's see. Oh man, I forgot it. I forgot it for 2 years after the 3 months of green candles. Yeah. Yeah. We're right. Melv Tony says that we are right after. Right now, we are below the EHEX price right after big payday, November 21, which was around 0.003 plus. Yeah, I remember when Hexo caught that dip live on stream, right around there. So yeah. Well, everybody, we have got an OG Hexican showing up in the green room. Let's see what far away and strange, awesome land he is in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Gary, Funding Jim, what's up, dude?
Hey, hey, hey! Is it just a voice in the ether that's over there on the RG3 side?
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties with my face. So yeah.
That's awesome.
What do you got back there on the walls? What is that?
These are my paddles. I don't know if you were Marines, but I don't know if you had paddles. But this is one of them. That's
yeah, the recon guys do that, like a what do you call it?
It's an oar from a
college.
Yeah. It's an oar. So we have an when you leave, actually, there's two paddles. One is basically broken across you. So basically you get spanked by everybody as you leave the unit.
Yeah.
But sometimes it breaks the paddle because it's pretty serious. It's like blood stripes and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Hazing. But that's one of them, and then the other one is the one it's usually has 550 cord and done up like that one. That one is from recon, and then this other one that maybe you could see if I make the light on it. I was a Navy diver also. So one is recon, and the other is, where is it? Fuck, I can't see it on this camera because I'm moving the camera.
It's over on over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
The other way.
I don't know where it's at. Anyway, so that's one. Oh, there's the other one by my refrigerator.
Yeah.
In the distance, but I'm in a dark room. So basically, I went to second class dive school in Coronado in San Diego area, and that was paddle for that.
Yeah, nice. Now we did the insignia pins and the blood stripes and lots of hazing. Young men love to haze each other.
Yeah, if you get shellback, if you get in the Navy, we have all these different things. They're basically hazings, and the Marines have their own versions. And we actually get, when you get your wings, basically when you've gone to jump school, then you get blood wings. So you basically wear a T-shirt and a white T-shirt, nothing else, and then they pin them into your shirt and your body basically, and then punch on top of it. So it's a lot of
they punch them into your chest.
Like the gauntlet you go through your platoon or whatever, and it ends up being a bloody shirt that everybody signs, and you keep it for 30 years and think of it fondly but stupidly.
Yeah, I look back at it and go, yep, it was a fond moments, but very stupid. And the after parties were even stupider, if that is a word.
Yeah, the beer garden where everybody's laid out for sure.
We've got some Hexicans coming in. We've got Robert Kelleher, the man of TikTok. Is that a compliment, or is that like the TikTok guy? Actually, it's a compliment because he makes my TikToks. He doesn't go up there and do dances himself. He probably does. He just hasn't put any of those up there yet. But he just does TikToks of me ranting and raving, and every once in a while saying something intelligent. Thank you, Robert. You're doing a hell of a job over there on the TikToks.
Yeah, brother, you're welcome. I'm a little too shy to get out there and dance myself yet. We'll have to get a chance for me to do that. So,
right on. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the D-Gens himself, Zenith, Captain Zenith.
No, it only ever was Lieutenant junior grade, but I heard Gary talking about paddling, so I figured I'd bring mine on here and get it going on.
Yeah, it is very nice.
I'm a coastie, so this is what I got when I left my first unit. It was
cool when we met in Vegas, and you told me some of your history too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolute pleasure meeting you, by the way. That was fantastic. And we had an awesome time at brunch that day. That was amazing.
Yeah, I was sad I only caught like 1 day worth of your event, but it was worth making the trip for sure. So I heard RG saying something about he's gone full degen, like everything that's a meme he bought a big old bag of, and is what I heard when I came in the room.
No,
He is the biggest bag holder of dick with butt.
That's what I just
Oh,
said.
somebody said it. I've been trying not to have anybody
He's been
say
trying
it.
to avoid
Oh,
the hashtag or whatever. It's funny. I mean, I'm not promoting it. I did just because I remembered Richard responding to Elon Musk in the past with that icon. I really hadn't heard of it before. I'm not like a programmer or any of the history of the meme, but he had posted a GIF of that image, and then I just added it to Too Spooky and I said Richard called the bottom. So we'll see how that goes. I saw Nerd Girl and some other people kind of coming out in support of dick with butt. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
What actually, instead of it being one particular thing, I did want to comment, which one thing I did want to say is levity. We've been saying for years, this is the bear. Let's get through the bear. Let's get through the bear. And, distill the community and only the strong and the lettuce hands can leave and all this other kind of narrative, which just is corrosive, like to my soul. Like I hate the feelings I get sometimes from being here for so long, but like the levity side of things, some of these, whether it's memes or whether you're just building something goofy and, for your own entertainment, release it into this culture, like supporting that, even if it goes nowhere, even if it's nothing financial, just some levity. Comedy goes a long way as far as like cohesiveness,
Yeah.
Speaking of meme coins, Captain, if you will, I do have something to share with the group.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. Nice.
This is a conversation that the team and I had somewhat recently. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, talking about meme coins. I got a screen share for you, if you will.
Oh boy, here we go.
Uh-oh. Full D-John. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we have the IQ bell curve template, and on the left-hand side, we have the low IQ gang saying meme coins are a reality of crypto. In the middle, we saying, no, meme coins hurt the crypto ecosystems. And on the right side, we have meme coins only promote more value or more volume and adoption. So, yeah, we were debating this one ourselves.
Well, I mean, gosh, what works, right? And there is no bad press and all that kind of stuff. Now, not everybody has to participate or be part of it or make it have value. But some people seem to like it. And these newer generations of people seem to have that kind of baked into their financial or crypto culture. It's baked in and you can't take it out. It's their way of release, it's their way of communicating with each other and trying to be lighthearted about things, and I could sit there and go, this is the most ridiculous, childish bullshit I've ever seen. This is giving us a bad name. How are people going to respect us? Blah, 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 blah. But in the scheme of things, that really doesn't matter because some people relate to it, enjoy it. I fucking laughed all day long looking at Twitter on that shit. I even made a meme of it. It was so damn funny. And I mean, well, SJ made the meme. I didn't make the meme. But I had the idea. And so it's 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other. If it brings adoption, if it brings people to the table and really look at DeFi and really become part of the movement, then good on them. They communicated with their generation of people who understand the internet in a different way than I do. And they see life and finance a different way than I do. My life experience is different than theirs. They've had a hard go at it. I've had a hard go at it too, but my life was molded differently by the financial atmosphere. I lived through all of these things most of these people are just hearing is history. Like when you hear the 2008 crash, I was a man who had two kids at the time, you know, and a home and a job that I lost, that I was losing the home, all that. I dealt with that while these people were just, you know, coming up in life, you know, and they weren't out there in the workforce dealing with it. And I watched the 401k turn into nothing. They were born with nothing, you know, so our experiences are different. So I look at this a different way. Like, for instance, I have a hard time laughing at myself in the Twitter spaces and all this. It's not part of my culture. We didn't fucking do this shit to people. You know, you didn't communicate this way with people. You didn't. The first thing you do to somebody is meme them and make them look ridiculous or make them look silly. Like what? Like, we fucking beat each other up for that kind of shit back in my day. We didn't do that. That's not how you greeted somebody. And today that's a greeting. It's a rite of passage. It's, you know, part of the communication. It's like, dude, you got meme. That's cool. It's all right. Don't get upset, you know, but you know, so there's a generation gap and a communication issue. And I think everybody just has to live and let everybody do their thing until, you know, it's time for the real message to be passed about DeFi and how we move forward and how we, you know, take it to the politicians, take it to the banks, take it to the governments, you know. But it all has its place, in my opinion.
Captain, I think you're entirely correct. When it comes to like the old school, like traditional finance and 401k stuff, that was no laughing matter. That was where people put their hard-earned money into something that's supposed to be going for a long term. And then I think as our kind of idea of the money supply has shifted, so has the culture a little bit. One of the takes that I've heard when it comes to the crypto meme culture is that there's a bit of like absurdity or nihilism built into it, which is that the old system's dead, everything is kind of ridiculous, but you can still make money off of it. So that's where you get this idea of like all the meme coins exist in the same sphere as legitimate like blue chip cryptocurrencies, so to speak. So it's that transitioning of old school ideas to having to operate and exist in the same realm as the latest meme coin here, which is literally just what Gary said earlier.
And they pump harder. They move faster. They get more adoption. They have got more volume than the blue chips, you know? And that's
I'll push back a little bit on this one. I think that the reason that they do pump harder is because they don't quite have the same adoption and volume in like the macro sense. However, it's the delta. It's how hard people hit those volumes and those low cap market coins, which allows things to just balloon as how hard as they do. There is a cold hard calculus to how these markets are made and how the coins move in the way that they do. It just takes less effort to get things going much higher. So when you do put the things side by side, the blue chips and the meme coins, is like the charts look the same. However, you got to look deeper. You got to look at the volume. You got to look at the liquidity. You got to look at how many users and active wallets there are, because at the end of the day, the math rules everything. And then people just put their dollars behind it to drive it in certain directions. It just happens to be that like the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and the PulseChain pools are so much deeper. So it takes a much larger rock to create the same splash.
Yeah, real quick, Moonmut. Yeah, that's CoinGlass is the app that I use to watch the whale wallet moves. So CoinGlass is the app. Sorry, go ahead, everybody. I just want to answer that question before we forgot about it.
I kind of relate to, and again, the efforts of marketing to build. I think we've said this before. A lot of us have, you know, for the years, is basically building, like the effort that you and SJ put together, and like Hexican and others to coordinate this event in Vegas just last week. I think you got this thing coming up in Utah next. Is that the next one or something?
Yeah,
basically putting together a tour, right? That's marketing. That's a tragedy of the commons, your effort, you know, whether it's sponsored or compensated or whatever, it's time away from your family. It's marketing. It's marketing for the benefit of everybody that's on chain. If you're talking PulseChain, everyone that's been in or involved for many years in Hex, if that's their bag. So they basically get free marketing because of your effort, right? Your attraction for other people to come to the table and learn about this stuff. So like, that's awesome, but that's individuals choosing to be public and go and engage. And And since we were just in Vegas, it's interesting that someone that can be considered very practical as an investor might say, I just want to have stock in international gaming. Like that's the biggest stock, I think, for like all the slot machines and all the things that you saw in every casino while we were there, right? You said that's your practical play because it has its narrative about why it gives a dividend and such. Or you have real estate. You say, I'm going to buy real estate out in Seven Hills or Anthem or something like that, where, you know, basically the suburbs, the rich suburbs of Vegas. And that's going to be my play in Vegas, right? And others might say, I'm just going to take, you know, the mortgage money and I'm going to put it all on black and roulette and hope it doubles. Like you know, none of those people, the real estate people, the stock people, go and sit in front of a casino and protest. None of them protest because they all eat from the same table. They all look at the city of Vegas as an entertainment space more than just a gambling space. Like it's like the narrative around like entertainment is important. That is marketing. That's you know, people go there for all sorts of reasons, and some of it is, you know, to take a risk, you know, and at the tables or something like that. But like at the end of the day, they come back. Most of them, I think, come back because of entertainment. I just looked up the numbers, and 42 million people visit per year in this past year in Vegas. 42 million. Only 600,000 population. So how many people live there versus how many visit? So it's a multiple, right? I mean, the visitors are a multiple of who lives there. And we live here, like we live in crypto all the time. We're going to have passersby. We're going to have people that, you know, buy into a meme because it's entertainment. Whether it was Dogecoin a few years ago or it's this current, slew of nostalgia pictures, I guess, as far as memes and such, you know. So like I want the levity and I want the fun back in crypto, and I think we can do that.
I'd like to add to what you're saying, Gary. What a lot of people don't realize, how we sit and we'll speak on Twitter and say we're in our echo box. We're just in the community, just not our community, but all communities around. We're still in our echo box trying to get out and trying to show the grander part of the people that are out there. And like all of you have said, we're only in a percentage of people that are in crypto right now. We're just starting to make waves in the water. You know, we're just starting to drop those ponds into the stone, and people are starting to see, but they're still scared and have that fear because of what's, can't think of the word now, but you guys know what I'm saying, that what the government's doing to put that fear into people instead of them being able to actually go see these things. You know, they know what the stock market is. They know what gambling is. They know all these other things, but that fear is keeping them from looking into crypto, and we need to figure a way to get out there more to show them that there are products that are out there that are safe.
Yeah, I like the idea builder. So like I saw some, some people saying that they're going to experiment on different chains and things like that have been here for many, many years. And I like the idea builders, and I like the developers, and I want to support, more in this coming year, people that are, if a build out is basically just creators making memes, and I don't like the toxic side of some subcultures, but in general, like I like it being advertised and try to support those things. If it's simply a meme, it doesn't have like a utility or some complex protocol to it. But yeah, I like the builders, and I think that that's part of the entertainment of being here in the crypto space. SJ, are you traveling? Like, is that your rig? Is that the PulseChain bus that you're in?
This is the PulseChain bus, indeed. Yes.
Did
Yeah, I'm
you?
not traveling right now. So.
I had seen some Twitter stuff. I'm not sure if it was basically YouTube clips, but on your build out, did you have like a whole series about the build out?
No. Well, not on this bus. I did a build out on a Sprinter van a few years ago.
Cool.
And I had some content there, but this nearly came as is. I did do some videos. There were several Hexicans that helped with different things, like installing the knobs on the cabinets. I've got some etching done on the tables and things like that. a lot of that content I do on Instagram. So all my a lot of my bus life stuff is through my Instagram.
Yeah, those types of things can be viral in and of themselves, like that live aboard or van life or all these different hashtags on Instagram and YouTube. A couple of years ago, especially, was very popular. They had this young lady that got like instant famous, I guess, with an albino snake or something.
Yeah, I know her. I used to follow her. Yep.
And I used to follow. There's another girl, I forgot her name, but she was like an Asian lady or something like that, and she traveled all over the United States in a van. And it was interesting. It's kind of like, it's just like it's about living vicariously through someone that's nomadic. That kind of content's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've noticed something else really. I've got two grown kids that aren't really big on the YouTube scene. But my youngest, he's like, that's his thing. Like, he watches YouTube content like we used to watch cartoons and our shows and whatnot when we were kids. And a lot of the content creators that are watching are these kind of jackass light guys. Like they're very video game culture. They're very the old Nickelodeon kind of slime freaking videos that they used to do. But they're like they're like crews of like guys that are mild mannered, still out there having fun, cutting up and doing things, but doing it in a fun way that it appeals to the young kids. And like Mr. Beast too, he takes it a step further and it's more cerebral with it. Versus fart jokes and slime. It's very intricate puzzles that human beings have to get themselves through to get a prize at the end, and big prizes. Yep. And so I'm noticing that a lot of this content is really taking hold, and I'm looking at it going, well, how does the crypto space kind of tap into this? How do we turn into Mr. Beast? Like, I know Hexologist is really, keen on this, and he has that type of an aura about him, about the things that he does and talks about. But I think, maybe we should take a lesson out of the playbooks here, and instead of having these panel meetings where we're all, circle jerking and talking about crypto's do's and don'ts and whys and wills and all that kind of shit, going out there and making some fun and getting something. I think that's where the virality might happen, is people interacting with stuff like that.
Captain, it sounds like you're proposing the first game show for the winner gets a 1 million hex stake for Quattro Cinco.
Oh, hey, that sounds good. That sounds good. Maybe we can do something like that. Put it together. We'd have to, maybe we could tie it into the PulseChain tour somehow and pick a contestant out in that area, a no coiner, and have them do some crazy shit for some crypto.
Well, I had an idea a while back, and it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I think I messaged to SJ, but I forgot to follow up on the idea. For a while, like when Hex was first growing, you guys were doing a lot of giveaways. Like we had Ski Cat and all these other kinds of things that were happening, and the token itself didn't have much value by comparison to later, but like that ended up being something very valuable to people, right? So there's a lot of giveaways. Like early on, even we had like Telegram bots, and we would like tip to each other and things like that, right? I was thinking, because SJ just was an example, but now that you're doing this tour, or every so often we have a big meetup where people come together, it has to be, the thing is, it's always needs to be someone that's trustworthy. And what I mean is you could do geocaching, which is kind of a popular way to put something inside of a little box, a little metal box out, behind a sign in a desert, a different city. And then
the treasure hunt, so to speak.
Yes, treasure hunt thing, right? And the that's kind of a big trend, and it doesn't have to be anything super valuable. Like sometimes they're just looking for, like yard gnomes or whatever. Like they'll just have like something quirky, and it even gets passed around. Like once it gets discovered, then the thing gets brought, kind of out of the next meetup, like a next Hex meetup or PulseChain meetup. That person brings it and says, look, and it passes it again and kind of recycles. That's interesting. Another thing is, of course, because we are in crypto, there could be like, you know, some kind of like narrative around, hey, you know, like even with Bitcoin, like people are still looking through a trash pile, you know, for $90 million worth of Bitcoin that's on a hard drive, right? They've been looking for it for like 5 or 6 years. So like, because the guy accidentally threw away a hard drive that had a bunch of Bitcoin on it. So like, there's stuff like that we could do, and and it could be PulseChain, it could be PulseX, it could be whatever the popular meme is, just to make sure that it gets viral, you know, for that week or month or however long a meme coin is around. But like, it's interesting advertising that really doesn't have any cost. So like, if I donated like $1,000 to SJ, and she was able to anonymize the buy, or however you basically do a fresh buy, then, you know, break it up into like $20 little things to geocache as she makes a tour. She's touring around lots of places, or other people are doing similar things. And then like, you know, content generators that, you know, I've said this before, if you're doing a car rebuild, and, you know, don't even talk crypto, just talk about the car stuff. I know that Super Hex Win does his motorcycle things, right? He does his Ducati.
His Lambo now too, yeah.
He's had like 3 Lambos in 1 year or whatever, right? So like he does Ducati kinds of stuff, and all he does is wears a, you know, the logo shirt, but he basically is talking Ducati, and he gets all kinds of views without having to hashtag the crap out of crypto. And it's kind of the same thing. Like you had that, I think her name was Janine, but basically that lady that had the snake and the van and the van build out. And then I'm going to go to this new city, or this other guy his name is the Fine Print. I like watching him because he's a gamer. Like he does video game streams from his van, sometimes in the middle of Alaska or whatever, because he travels all over for the past few years. And he's got around 700,000 or 800,000 followers. So like, if you decide to make content like that, that's a more honest way to reach influencers that are not in crypto. Like, it's great that we have Ben. It's great that we have like other people that have some, you know, the Martini guy, or ever so often from mainstream, or I do a lot of spaces with the altcoin twins or whatever. But like, that's still us talking to people that are already in crypto and already have a bias. But if you make content because you're genuinely interested in making content, and you're living a life that basically 80% of it is not crypto and might be interesting hobbies or interesting, you know, adventures, then making that kind of content and reaching out to bigger influencers is synergistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a win-win.
Gary, you got fantastic points there. Like, even last week we were talking about trying to reach out to people outside of the crypto community as the ones to onboard. But even just to start off with this, inside of the crypto community, one of the streams that my team and I did, we didn't really have a whole lot of an idea to go with. So I just made a crypto Jeopardy game. And that was one of the most popular things that we did, is gamifying some of like the trivia knowledge around it. And people have been hounding me to do that stuff ever since. Even looking beyond that right now, there's a project called Shrapnel. It's a GameFi project, and they have a token on AVAX, and they want to do like NFT gear to use in game. But the reason I bring them up is because right now they're actually they're alpha testing their game and using their own token to give away to people as prize pool for like top 500 people in the leaderboard for this like 3-day event, or so to speak. I've noticed that stuff like this has even started to bring in mainstream people that are not crypto adjacent, like a lot of Twitch streamers. I saw it was pretty popular in the group of streamers that regularly play Escape from Tarkov. They're like, oh, cool, another extraction shooter? Yeah, I'll jump on this one. There's a prize pool. Plus, it's new, and I already have the skills. This could be something to explore. So there are ways to absolutely bring eyeballs in like that. And especially in the live events and stuff, you could totally come up with great stuff to bring people in. Or even maybe like give away, I don't know, tickets to certain events to have them as part of like a special event package, and then also record the whole thing to then promote to even more people outside of our own space. Because I think that's really what we're getting at here, which is trying to use the fun aspects of crypto to reach the people that are outside of it. Just like, was it Super Hex Win, who does the Ducati stuff you mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's perfect. Exactly.
Yep. SJ and I have some plans. We're going to go out and do some in public live streaming here pretty soon, and go out and do some Q&As and whatnot. And so we've been talking about putting a show together like that.
When I went to Consensus a year ago, I think, or whatever it was, I think it was in Austin. I met the VP of marketing for CoinDesk, I think. I've got his contact stuff, things like that. And so they have, like when they're obviously trying to sell tickets, they want people to be there as vendors. They want them to occupy space. They want to have, sell out blocks of hotels that they pre-book or, to monetize that. They monetize the food. They monetize a lot of stuff, right? Consensus is a big thing. And it was very impressive in Austin. And I know that, or at least they did last time. I don't know if they do it every year, but they have like referral codes, or they'll have, things that try to help their marketing to sell tickets. Reaching out to somebody like that, or reaching out to basically these bigger events, it's been, I wouldn't say it's been super embraced, because like, I don't like that we frame Ethereum as the enemy. And I don't like necessarily that we frame Bitcoin as the enemy. And we basically rule out, these other events. Token Fest 49 had 10,000 people in the audience in Singapore. I think it was held in Singapore. All the people that you see on stage for all these other events and engage us and things like that as well, like Eric Wald and such, are speakers. And we don't go to those events. We don't make the most of us don't make that effort, to travel to Asia for that kind of audience access. But like, I think that's something we should try. Like I like you had said something about, like, we do these panels where we talk kind of to ourselves for years, and then we wonder why people aren't here. Engaging new audiences is really all that matters, in my opinion, for especially this cycle.
I have a thought. I've actually been talking to a few of the cryptos folks in the community, and this is just a food for thought. This company here, 7 Summits, they do a where is it? You can see it here. It's a benefit basically for folks that are disabled, or say got in a car accident or something like that. I work with them once a year where I run sound for them. And I've been with them for the last 10 years. And last year, if I remember correctly, we were capable of getting almost $60,000 with, it was a little over 2,000 people that ran for the 5K. Those events are all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. And to be able to show crypto through those communities as well would be an amazing thing to be able to do. Even if we were to sit down with the programmers that get the events together for whatever day it is, and see if, putting a few bucks of Hex or PulseChain or something like that in there, to where it can either go to the family that's getting help, or something as an incentive for people to be able to get when they pay for their ticket.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ideas, and again, for some reason, we tend to treat things that are capitalist, like, hey, this thing needs to be paid for by selling tickets, or needs to be paid for by, selling T-shirts or merch or something like that. For our culture, our microculture, basically, it says, oh, you're taking advantage of the people that are here because you're selling them T-shirts. Like, I think that's a stupid frame. Even when the German and Austrian guys were doing their tour earlier, like a couple of years ago, whatever, I think they went to over 6 months, went to 30,000 miles and 40 cities or something like that. And a lot of that, some of it was sponsored. Like, I think Discourse Syndicate even sponsored, some of their tour. There's a lot of volunteerism and things like that as well. But like, I think that they came out of their pocket a significant amount as well. Like, they had an entourage of 10 people and things like that too, and Airbnbs and gasoline and maintenance and car and stuff like that. So they had overhead. And, ideas to have that pay for itself is, one, it does take good negotiation. And it's not just a negotiation for the event space to be cheaper or for the hotel space to be cheaper. It is basically synergistic marketing, like saying, hey, we're thinking about either Marriott or Hilton, and reaching out to the marketing department, not just the front desk booker, to book the space, but like reaching out to the marketing department for either that one location or for basically the chain. And then saying, hey, we're going to go to 30 cities. We'd like to have we'd like to favor your business, right? And we want to synergize that marketing and basically get financial support, not just discount. Same thing with like Audi. I think that they were driving Audis. They stuck with both an SUV plus a sports car, I think. They got it wrapped and they had all those kinds of expenses for wrapping, but like market the wrapper, not just a discount on price, but say, we're going to talk about your stuff for 30,000 miles over 6 months. We're going to have however many people you estimate to attend, plus, the amplified marketing on YouTube and Instagram, and, we'll promote that other people should help to get the word out that we have sponsors, right? It's good that we paid, in general, the NASCAR thing was good, but like, I would love to have advertisement budget from companies that we are working with that are giving money to support a tour like this, an education tour. That kind of stuff is synergistic because it helps their marketing budget. It's not really only us that are buying their products. Everybody buys hotels, everybody buys hotel space, everybody buys cars. So like these kinds of things that are universal, I think we get more marketing budget than we've ever gotten.
Gary, fantastic points again. I think there's a duality to what you're saying there. There's kind of like a cynical side of the house where you talked about like the t-shirts, sales pay the bills kind of thing. But offering value to people is a concept old as time. And you can absolutely do that, not just through money, but through like exposure, marketing, word of mouth, all that stuff. And then also on the flip side of the coin, for like those smaller folks, there's that great quote that exposure won't pay the bills. And at a certain point, you do have to at least put some cash down on the table, so to speak. But I got to say, with my experience that I've had in this community is that people are more than happy to slap the credit card down for a good cause and are more than happy to be the change in some aspects. I'm not saying that we can expect people to be like fully philanthropic for events and promotion and everything. However, at the same time, there's a lot of great energy in the Hexican PulseChain community, and it's really unmatched anywhere else. So you do get excellent marketing and promotional events, and at the same time, there are additional ways that we can provide people additional ways to get in. Speaking of which, we have Fast Abdul with the SGD 10. I don't know what that is.
What is
Fast
the
Abdul,
SGD?
No idea, but I will say this man right here, his catchphrase is "Let's talk bribes," and it is not the "I want to bribe you," but it is "I want to pay you to do the thing that you are already incentivized to do," aka the good thing. He has a great point on this one, which is that if you can just help incentivize people to keep doing the good work that they do, it's only a win-win, however you look at it. So, Fast Abdul, thank you very much, my man.
Thanks for the SGD, Fast Abdul. At least it wasn't DWB.
There you go. He says, "Give me $1,000 budget, and I will." Sorry, I'll get through this real quick. Fast Abdul says, "Give me $1,000 budget, and I will super chat raid the top 3 non-PulseChain YouTube streamers until they cry." Aggressive. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a natural curiosity, you're naturally going to pursue and like engage with a particular hobby or something like that. That's the best kind of marketing. That's the most honest kind of marketing. So there's a big YouTuber. His name is I think it's Bobby Duke Arts. 2-3 million followers, maybe more. I haven't seen it in like maybe a year or so. But like he always like makes something new, and so it's an art kind of channel, and like DIY how he did it, and it's pretty impressive stuff that he's built out over the years. Working with I remember, and there was another guy that I remember, Alex Steele. And he was like maybe 23, 24-year-old, enthusiastic, great content, but he really liked forging things. So he made a lot of swords and knives and things like his YouTube channel is basically all these different things, hammers, like he made Thor hammers and stuff like that, right? And I remember back when Beards, he had changed his name a few times, but the Viking looking guy that used to stream with us a lot, I think it was Beards. Proof of Beards. Yeah,
Sounds about right.
He changed his name a couple times. It used to be some other stuff, but anyways, like he wanted to buy a Viking hammer or something like that. He's like, with my proceeds, and he definitely was going to do. He's like, he had a few $1,000s. He was trying to buy one, and I said, sure, buy one, but why don't you reach out to a big YouTuber that makes this kind of stuff already, and then sponsor it and say, hey, I'm going to buy it. I want to bring the audience to your channel. I want to buy your content, things like that or whatever. Like, don't just be a cheapo and say, give me something. But like, you're going to spend money anyway. synergistic marketing is useful, and it's a non-crypto community, and they're interested in how they make swords and hammers and all the stuff that gets forged out. You're interested in buying something like that. So like, you know, that's great. That's great stuff. That's great content. You want to, there was a time way before crypto where I was very interested in, and I bought and sold as a hobby, 1940s Airstreams and Spartans and things like that, right? These travel trailers from, you know, right after World War II. Very interesting because they were aircraft grade aluminum, because the Getty factories that made all of our B-52s and things like that for the war effort needed to be converted to something civilian and commercial. And that's where Airstreams and things like that came from, was basically to house the GIs. That kind of stuff is very interesting. It was very interesting to me. And so like naturally having that knowledge base and naturally going to those events and talking with restorers about how to do that process, that's synergistic marketing, because you're naturally curious, and you're tapping into those communities that are not the same people that have been sitting in crypto for, you know, a whole bear and bull, you know?
Hey, Gary, question for you. Is the reason that you talk about trying to expand the sphere of crypto for people that are also involved in the hobbies that you're involved in, but you're not explicitly marketing, is that an idea of the authenticity play, which is that a lot of people feel very marketed to these days, and understandably so. People are bombarded by it. But when you are in a hobby with other people who are like-minded and you all show the same commitment and passion, they're more receptive to hear your other ideas because they've already connected with you on that one topic, so they know that you're not just in it for the money. Is that the authenticity play?
Yes. So that's a tiny bit of, you know, if advice or experience or whatever I would say. I did a space, I don't know, 6 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, whatever it was, with Gary Cardone. And there was a lot of talk back and forth. He's talking crypto. A lot of people following from Hex and from PulseChain were in the same space. Some of them were rotating up. I think it was like making pitches. I think he said something like make your pitch. And it was about business ideas. It wasn't just cryptos. So it was anything, it was business ideas. That was his title of his space. And somebody wanted to make a pitch, but basically the space got closed down, or just, you know, didn't happen in time for him to get up to line. And the question, a different space loaded up, and the person asked a question, or was talking with me on the space, and said, you know, I didn't get to make my pitch. I really wanted to make my pitch. And the question to me was, how should he make the pitch to Gary? Gary's asking for pitches, right? How do you make the pitch? And it's kind of comes down to, what do you know about the guy you're pitching to? What do you know about, do you know any of his businesses? I mean, you know, he's a crypto guy because he's talking crypto, he's talking Bitcoin. You know, he's the brother of Grant Cardone, but what do you know about the guy? What do you know about Gary, right? Didn't know where he was from, didn't know where Gary was from. He has a voice that's very specific, but didn't know where he was from, really. Didn't know any of his background other than he's the brother of someone else that's more famous. So all I was pointing out was, if you don't have common ground, everything you say is going to be a used car salesman pitch. Everything is going to fall on dead ears. You're just basically occupying time long enough for them to be polite and forget your idea and forget that you tried to engage them, because these people get pitched all the time, constantly, every moment, right? It's almost like being Dr. Dre. How many people do you think put cassette tape and drive a cassette tape in his hands, or a demo or whatever, right? All the time. Do they have time to listen to your content? No, because they've got 500 more pitches in the next day, right? A pretty girl, right? How many offers for a date, or for like you know, time or whatever, you know, attention, does that lady get? All the time, like constantly. So like, understanding that common ground is necessary and needed before your pitch is going to even remotely sound genuine is important. So like, if you're coming at it and you genuinely are interested in restoring cars, van life, you're genuinely interested in living off grid, being you know, sovereign, you're a gold bug, you're a, you know, anything, basically, you got to have common ground. Once you have common ground, then that familiar is a lot more open. It creates a lot more open conversation.
I definitely hear you.
People said several times, Markable changed his name. So it was Markable that I was talking about earlier.
Makes sense. I think when you're trying to offer things to people, you either got to lead with value or you got to go the how to win friends and influence people approach, which is understand that people are very interested in the things that they are interested in. And if you are also interested in those, there's your commonality. Let them talk about what they love and try to relate to that and try to offer a little bit of value along the way if you can. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you like Pokemon cards, you like baseball, you like whatever it is that you honestly pursue that you probably don't even tell the crypto community that you're part of. Like you probably don't even share that part of your vulnerability or your nostalgia or whatever it is. You know, if you want to do something, then talk to that group, and then don't just pitch them your crypto. Talk to that group because that's genuinely interest you have with them and share common ground.
Absolutely. For example, I try to talk to people about how building personal wealth and something that you can leave for a next generation. It's definitely something that's admirable and I want to do. And I think that I connect with other people on that they try to do. I just use crypto as a vehicle to do that. I think it's one of the best vehicles that you can possibly do that when it comes to the gains, assuming you can also stomach the volatility. So that's the caveat. But at the same time, it's like, hey, we have common goals. Here's how I'm doing it. It seems to be working out pretty good so far. So if you would like to get in, I'm more than happy to share.
That would make a good show, you know, showing the personal interests that you have and reaching out to the people that are in those places, you know, that you either made friends or whatnot. That would be awesome.
Not even just the shill, but it's honestly more of a team building thing. I think one of the best parts of the crypto investing sphere is that there's enough gains for everyone to get some. There's enough real estate here for everyone to win. This is not I'm trying to sell on your head. This is we are trying to build something that is long-term, value building, and something that can be passed down. And there's enough to go around. So why not hop in?
Abundance, baby.
Abundance.
Yep.
Well said, Robert.
Abundance mindset. Yeah, that's a different thing. Like there's a lot, you know, what we kind of get upset over is like the cannibalism. Oh, they just came in and took value from this community or whatever. Like the cannibalism side. I don't like that. But that often comes from our mentality that there's so much scarcity that you're stealing from, you know, my plate. But there's abundance if you actually have a mindset and you realize not just how few people are in crypto as a whole, but like, you know, how much of a micro niche we are and how many people are outside of our own circle. You know, you've heard this phrase before, 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. You've heard that?
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It's a true thing, right? Like because of the math, just maths. Everyone, you know, on average knows 250 people by first name, right? 250 people in your life that you know. You have different circles about how close they are to you, but basically 250 people. And then you start to multiply that once you get, you know, 250 times 250 to get to 1 degree of separation, 250 times that to get to, you know, so basically you get the population of the planet or something like that. Once you get 6 degrees out. That's powerful. That's super powerful. That's super powerful. So when you're talking to someone, whether it's a pitch or whether it's just common ground establishment or you're building network or community for maybe later, like Johnny Appleseed, you have no idea why you want to communicate with this person and identify with this person and connect. You don't have a purpose. You don't even have a pitch in mind. You're not even going to talk about your crypto interests, right? Do that all the time. Like that you never know where down the road that person in their network has someone that you need to access, right? You just never know.
Yep. Right on. Abundance is where it's at. There's so much money out there. You guys wouldn't know what to do with it if it came into this space. And that's just a fraction of it, a fraction. So sitting here fighting and quibbling over the scraps that are here is really showing our true colors. Guys, let's go get the real money. Get it, bring it in. Go out and make something viral. Go out and do something positive. Bring everybody to PulseChain. Let's go do it. All right, everybody. We're going to shut her down. Come see us in Utah on February 13th. And then next month we will be in Vancouver. Tickets on sale, pulsechaintour.com. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.